Kane, but even critics have claimed that it was shit in its day. Some films are shit and shit they will stay, but some get better over time because of Nicolas Cage. So which film stays shit forever? And which one's got a little bit better? Second chance movies. No poor bloods were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Welcome to Second Chance Movies, the podcast where we rewatch movies and decide if they deserve a second chance.
I'm Joe Harper, your host who loves rewatching movies and really loves a good Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
And I'm Jessica Quaz, your host who's a one and done kind of movie viewer who thinks Red Taylor's version is a masterpiece.
Yikes.
Yeah, but I also really like Jake Gyllenhaal, so
Okay, good.
It's okay. And today we are giving a second chance to the Best Picture nominee, Brokeback Mountain.
It's about time. Someone needed to give it a second chance. It might as well be us.
That's right.
Last week, we reviewed Crash, the movie that beat it out for Best Picture in 2006. And so we want to see 20-ish years later, which one really deserved Best Picture. And I think we all know which one.
I know which one.
Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about Brokeback Mountain. If you haven't seen it, be prepared to hear some stuff about the movie. So we're going to talk in detail about it. For those of you who do not know the movie or who just forgot about the movie, don't remember what happened, let me read its synopsis. Ennis and Jack are two shepherds who develop a sexual and emotional relationship. Their relationship becomes complicated when both of them get married to their respective girlfriends. That is a very weird way to describe this movie.
I don't like that at all. I think just like a much better synopsis would be like two, I guess, shepherds, we'll say that, fall in love in a time where society would not allow it. I don't know, like something along those lines, yes, them getting
Great explanation.
Thank you.
I would say it's about two cowboys that fall in love during a time period when their love was not accepted by society, and throughout the years, how they keep that love going.
Yeah. I think the like yes, of course, them each getting married is like a huge plot point for both characters, but it's also like not the only thing that keeps them apart from like being together. So I don't know, just a weird way to put it, like when they both marry their girlfriends.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in high school.
Yeah.
My girlfriend. Okay. Do you remember your first time with this movie? What do you think about it? Did you see it when it first released? Later on?
I didn't see it when it was first released. So if you listen to our Crash episode last week, I talked about how I watched Crash at my Catholic school when I was like 12. They wouldn't show us Brokeback, that's for sure. So I didn't see Brokeback until like a few years after it came out. And like all I remember when I first watched it was just, of course, being like deeply sad, like being really emotional about it. And then, I mean, I liked it and I thought the performances were amazing and they were very like impactful and effective. I was just like deeply sad.
I think I saw this, I had to have been 17 or 18 and saw it in theaters.
Oh.
During the hype of like, this is running for Best Picture. I probably had watched Crash before, and I don't remember the order, but I was like, I want to see what the other movie is that everyone's, hyping up. I thought it was kind of boring, but like with some good sequences, and I haven't seen it since then. So I was excited to see how 20 years of mind changing and experiences getting married, and how I know what love is now.
Aww.
So let's give it with all those new perspectives in place.
Yeah, definitely. I was excited to revisit it because I also hadn't seen it since around the time it came out. And I know this movie means a lot to a lot of people. Like it really has an impact. And so I was just really curious to see, like you said, what it's like now that like I'm an adult who understands mature emotions. It was very, for me, it was very different this time around than the first time.
Yeah, I remember everyone labeled it as like the gay cowboy movie.
Yeah, it was a butt of a joke for it was a joke. Like actually like one thing that always kind of stuck with me over the years was I once listened to this interview with Jake Gyllenhaal, our guy, our man, and
Love that Jake.
he was talking about Heath because him and Heath became like really good friends. So much so that like Jake is the godfather to Michelle and Heath's daughter. And I just love that. I love that these bonds came out of this movie. But anyway, like Brokeback at the time, it was a joke because there wasn't like a lot of gay representation, especially in like prestige movies. So it was sort of like they're cowboys and they bang. And that year, the Academy Awards like pitched Jake and Heath to do like this sort of bit of like, yeah, we did love scenes together, and Heath got like outright pissed at the Academy, and Jake was like, yeah, I'll do it, whatever. And
Sure, you're gonna pay me?
yeah,
I'll do it.
and Heath, like apparently Jake was like so impacted by Heath's response because Heath was like, this isn't funny. Like this is like this is someone's life. Like this is
Yeah.
not funny. And Jake was like, wow, shit. Like even after making this movie, like I didn't realize like, yeah, this isn't funny. This is like telling a story. And I was just thought that was really cool because this movie was made at a time where, I mean, gay marriage wasn't even legal yet. Even though it was up for Best Picture and it was like highly regarded, it was still a joke in pop culture. And I think that that's changed. I think a lot more people appreciate it now, but it was definitely like, yeah, it's a good movie, but like,
I think one of my perspectives was because it was it's two guys. I don't know, man. They weren't banging enough for me in this movie.
yeah, it could have been a lot more intense, y'all.
Yeah, I was like, this was all the fuss was about. I think that was one of my big takeaways when I first watched it. Really, because that was almost nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, there could have been way more. There could have been some peen, like
Could have been.
straight up hard peen.
Oh man.
But that's not what it was about.
It's about love
Love.
and time.
Oh.
Well, now that we know what we thought about when we first watched it, I'd like to hear about what people thought about when they first watched it.
Time for reviews.
All right, let's read some reviews. All right, let's start off with the positive because there's way more positive than negative, which is crazy because I thought it would have an equal amount. We did not.
I was expecting that too. I was kind of expecting to be a little more polarizing just because again, like the time it came out and the content and everything. But actually, yeah, people liked it a lot more than I remember.
No Menno of Movie Mom. The storytelling is so plain and straightforward. What about it was why are you already laughing at that?
Because I'm sorry, it's a positive review, but I wasn't expecting it to start off with like the storytelling's plain.
No, I'm gonna be giggling about it now.
Yeah.
No Menno of Movie Mom. The storytelling is so plain and straightforward that, like the characters' feelings for one another, at first you do not realize how powerful it is.
Oh, now I feel bad for giggling because she meant it in like a nice way, I guess.
Yeah, it was because like again, when I first watched it, I thought this is kind of boring, and then because it's really like a slow, long draw of a movie.
Yeah, it's a slow burn. Yeah,
slow burn.
Slow burn. But I thought she was just like, yeah, what a basic ass story.
It's basic. Two people love each other. Get over it.
Whatever. All right. Robert Dennerstein with Denver Rocky Mountain News said the movie has a universal quality because it tells a story of unfulfilled lives and roots it in the well-observed specifics of a vanishing Western culture.
I mean, I don't really get the Western culture part of the movie.
Yeah.
Because it's not really, we don't really see too much of society in the movie. There's only like two or three other humans we interact with besides our two main dudes. So
Yeah, I think
it's
like
more them
just
talking about society, like society won't do this for us.
right. I think it's just like that's the 60s everywhere. I
Yeah,
wasn't there, but I've heard that's what it was like. I think like
I was there in another life.
oh shit.
No, I wasn't.
I think like the West is just where it takes place. I do agree though, this time around I noticed with like Michelle and Anne's character, I'm on a first name basis with both ladies.
Okay.
As well as the two guys. Um
For those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, Michelle Williams and Anne Hathaway are also in this movie.
they sure are. As is Kate Mara.
Oh yeah.
And Anna Faris.
And Linda Cardinelli.
Yeah, I didn't remember them in that. That blew my mind. But there is a lot of characters that do have like an unfulfilled life in some way. And I didn't really pick up on that when I was younger, but sort of like there's a lot to be said about societal roles that these people are filling, and they're not necessarily happy fulfilling those particular roles that have been put on them. Not just in the relationship with the two guys, but like throughout the movie, I see that more. Renee Rodriguez with Miami Herald said, the best movie of the year. Took
Short
a
and simple.
hard stance. That's how he feels in and out.
Matt Brunson of Creative Loafing. Behind its convenient and infuriating designation as the gay cowboy movie, this is as universal as any love story Hollywood has produced in recent times.
I mean, yeah, that's not wrong. Like, I do think it's really is unfortunate that it was just boiled down to like the gay cowboy movie, because there's a lot more to it than just that. And it does touch on like the complications and emotions of like a heterosexual relationship. So, yeah, I agree. I think that's a good review. I think that's a solid way to put it.
It's crazy how we haven't had more like lead homosexual movies. Like it's very few.
To this day, it's still an issue.
Yeah. Representation, guys.
It matters.
Sure does.
It fucking matters.
All right. I got one.
Okay.
Emily Blunt of Blunt Review, and not
that one.
Not actress Emily Blunt. This here film ain't your ma's cowboy tale none. Darn tootin'.
I respect that, Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
Good way to express what's going on here.
Lisa Ann Cockrell of Christianity Today.
Oh no.
Why oh no?
Because you know.
Sure. Well, it's you know what, Jessica, instead of just jumping to our first conclusion, maybe we let Lisa Ann say what she has to say.
Okay, you're right. That was very ignorant.
Especially if it's in the positive column.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yep. All right.
But you know what? I laid down that bear trap. I knew exactly what you'd walk into it.
All right. Well, what did sweet little Lisa Ann have to say?
Though presented as a story of thwarted love, of ache and longing and regrets, it's ultimately a story about the relationships that shape us for better and for worse.
All right. Yeah. I mean, she added the worst, which I don't know. What's the relationship that's for the worst, Lisa Ann?
The relationship where you force your kids to grow up with a broken home.
Yeah, or like just an absentee dad. Like, yeah. Yikes, he get like.
Well, I don't know if he's much as an absentee dad as much as just like 1 week he's like, bye.
Yeah, and then the daughter's like, Dad, can I move in with you? And he's like, no, sorry, I'm really busy. Like, I mean,
I got things to do here.
Yikes. Poor baby Kate Mara. I was pissed at him when she's like, Dad, like things aren't going well. Can like you be there for me? And he's like, I gotta go to the mountain.
Yeah, I
sorry.
gotta hang out with someone that's different than you. I
Hollywood's sassiest bitch came in like in Brokeback, which isn't surprising. This does feel like a movie he would like. I think. I don't know. You can never tell with him what he likes. His taste is all over the fucking place. But anyway,
I just know he liked Crash more.
you know he liked Crash. Oh, that's right.
That
He was a
was
big defender of like.
that was the fun fact that I read was Roger Ebert was one of the only critics that was like, yeah, Crash deserved this picture over Brokeback.
You know what? You know what? No offense to Crash, but I just feel like Roger did that just to be a salty bitch, just to be like, what are you gonna do about it? Just inserting himself in the drama, you know? Because he's hit. That's him.
That's so Roger.
Roger Ebert with the Chicago Sun-Times said, the filmmakers have focused so intently and with such feeling on Jack and Ennis that the movie is as observant as work by Bergman. So, I mean, he had it up there. Even though he was a Crash defender, he had some high praises for Brokeback.
Okay.
Okay, well,
That's good. Okay. Well, now that we've gotten all those positives out of the way, let's hear about the 3 to 4 people that didn't like this movie.
all right, let's start shitting on this groundbreaking Oscar-nominated movie.
Betty Jo Tucker of Real Talk Movie Reviews. Because Brokeback Mountain has made such a profound impact on so many viewers, I almost feel guilty that I can't rave about it.
Okay.
That's not an opinion.
Weirdo.
That's
yeah.
you stressing out that you can't shit on the movie because everyone else is liking it.
That's
you didn't.
a weird take. Yeah, like
I wanted to talk about how much I hated it, but everyone else likes it, so it looks stupid.
like I mean, if you have an opinion, say it, girl. Just don't have it be a stupid, ignorant opinion. Like
It was probably a stupid.
It was
opinion.
probably a bad one. Yeah, that's why she couldn't say it out loud.
Lori Hoffman of Atlantic City Weekly. Despite my distress at the tedious pace, the performances are sharp and compelling. I don't know why I thought she needed to be super southern, but I just thought so.
I felt it. I felt that vibe with what she had to say.
Atlanta.
I mean, I do like that, like, she's like, hey, you know what? I wasn't a fan, but you can't fucking deny how good they were in this. Like, you just can't. I'm sorry. You can't deny it. They were great.
The tedious pace is the thing that gets me the most. For like a movie, like I appreciate like it's a beautiful movie and stuff, but like, oh my god, this is taking fucking forever. Holy shit, I don't have all day. Where hold up, let's see if I can have my wife quote. The wife said, I'd rather watch Crash again. It was like an hour.
You know, I don't think
that's true, but it feels like it moves quicker.
It definitely does. Like, it definitely feels a lot quicker paced, because this is a very like slow vibe. Like, we're just gonna take in this love and see how it goes throughout the years, and that's cool. Like, that's the vibe they wanted to go for. They wanted you to really feel it, but at times I was like, oh, we're still here. All right, yeah.
I told my buddy Gage I was watching this movie, and because I wanted to get his perspective on it, since he also happens to be gay. And he was, oh, that movie's boring. I don't like it. It's so boring. You should choose a different movie. Why waste your time?
Oh. Damn.
Oh, that is one funny fucker.
All right.
You know what? I really want him to know that I said his name in this podcast to see if he actually listens to this podcast.
Oh,
this is entrapment. Gage, are you listening as much as you claim you're listening?
Oh, it's gonna be a test. Oh, we'll see what you say, Gage.
No other friend I'll test except him, because he's the biggest bullshitter friend I have.
All right. Ed Gonzalez from Slant Magazine wrote, "So much for Down and Dirty." He wanted more peen, I think.
So much for Down and Dirty?
Yeah, almost like, well, so much for Down and Dirty. Like,
Oh, he was like hoping for it and then he didn't get it. He's like, well, fuck this.
yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Jeffrey Overstreet of Looking Closer. Essentially, this is the same as most stories about lust and infidelity. Two people who can't control their desires end up hurting others, lying, and denying responsibility for their actions. You had me in the first half.
Yeah.
We a little trailed off a bit.
Yeah, I think it's like, yeah, we do have that here where they're cheating and they're lying and they're hurting people, but like, to play devil's advocate, this is slightly different in that it's not just like some husband who's like, oh, my wife's getting old and boring, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
This is like Heath is literally afraid that he will get the shit kicked out of him and die if he's gay, because that's what he saw as a kid. It's not just like, oh, I just want to go chase some tail and like lie about it. It's like he has such intense fear from the world around him threatening him to be who he really is. So like,
yeah, this is like a love that cannot be but like they try and make it work.
right, it's not just like a Woody Allen movie where he's like, I just want to fuck something young and lie about it.
I'm 70 and this just turned 18-year-old is like my star-crossed lover. I've been waiting around for you for 60 something years.
I just can't tell my 50-year-old wife about it 'cause she's a stick in the mud.
Yeah, God, she's so old too. 50. Oh, thank God you're 18, right?
Okay, so let's get into it.
Okay.
What
did you think about this second time? Is this the second time?
Yeah, this is full-blown second time.
This is my full-blown second time.
Wow.
I have not seen it since the theater, which is wild.
That is wild. And it's rare for us to both have an actual like second chance with the movies. So this is exciting.
Because I didn't have like a negative time seeing it the first time. I just had oh, that was it. Like, okay, it was nice, but it wasn't like, it didn't blow my mind away. Whereas now I've had 20 years of like life experience. I've been in lots of relationships. I have one really serious relationship going on.
Yeah.
So there's the married aspect of it all. And so like, yeah, I go into this with a lot of more open-mindedness than I think I did the first time. I think I was like on the verge of becoming open-minded when I first watched it.
Right.
So, yeah, after being very open-minded now, what an experience.
Yeah, I feel like for me this second time was like completely different than the first time. I think I was just too young and like understood the sadness.
Yeah, yeah. I'm Jessica and I'm 8 and I think Brokeback is okay. There's some sheep in it. 2 boys rode horses and they didn't go fishing. I don't know what that means, but I'm 8.
I gotta say now as an adult, that line that Michelle Williams says to Heath of like, you know what's funny is all those fishing trips you went on and you never brought home any trout.
Fuck.
I was like, wow.
I think that's one of my favorite scenes in this movie.
I do too.
Because like let's just get into that scene then.
Yeah. Let's go deep.
I think they'd already been divorced at this point and she's already with a new husband and she just, you know what? So bottled up with like, I'm so frustrated with you, and just cracks open that beer and just like, boom, so many things like, hey, I left you a note. And when you got back, it was still on your fishing pole. You never even fucking opened that tackle box. Like, fuck. I was like, oh my God, you fucking idiot. You stupid piece of shit.
God damn. Like, it's crazy too, like watching the scenes with them. Because I feel like watching it now where they have this like I said in the reviews, I think that like Heath does have love for her, but in the same way that you have love for like a friend. It's like I
Okay.
love you and I care about you, but I'm not
Yeah.
in love with you. And
Yeah.
so
I could,
when
mm,
he like lashes out at her when she finally calls him out, I think it's like a level of embarrassment and trauma and genuinely like, oh fuck, I hurt this person. And he's like angry at himself, but he turns it out on her. And I just think like that moment is like such like high octane acting, because like you like the way she's portraying like how pissed and how bottled up she's been, but she's still a woman in the 60s, like she
yeah.
still has like a role that she has to be in, and she's finally able to say, now that I'm not your wife anymore, like yeah, I fucking know, I've known this whole time. And he's like, it's like this oh shit moment that he just doesn't know how to process, and the two of them like fighting off of each other, it's so good, like it's just so intense to watch. And I feel like in those moments you like I felt anyway, I weirdly got like the chemistry that like Heath and Michelle had, even though they're playing characters that are like not in love with each other. Like I could feel that they had this in very interesting connection. I don't know
Okay.
what that was, but I definitely felt their chemistry. And even in scenes where they're like fighting, I'm like, God damn, they were in love. Like, God damn, I feel it, baby Matilda. Who's probably like 20 now, which is like fucking insane. But
Yeah.
I think it like it works for these characters because like I said, I think he does love her, but he's so conflicted in feeling like incomplete and incompetent that it makes him feel really deeply insecure and pissed off. But like Michelle in this movie, like this also, we were talking earlier about how like this changed our perspective of like Heath and Jake. Michelle Williams was known for Dawson's Creek before. Like she was full blown like
Mhm.
teenage soap opera star. And this was like, oh bam, yeah, I can fucking act too. Like, hello.
I never saw an episode of Dawson's Creek.
Oh, I love that shit.
Um, yeah, she's one of those actresses that I know is in all these like critically acclaimed movies, but like, I never see them, and if I do, I forget about them almost instantly. I feel bad about that
Yeah.
because like she gives good performances. I just, then she's in Venom, and I'm just like, okay,
Oh yeah. Well, that was her like, I'm gonna make some money.
good girl, get our
Eh.
attention.
Get a paycheck. Yeah, girl. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Um,
like Jake, he's like, I'll be Mysterio.
yeah, make some money and have some fun.
Yeah, but that one was really good.
That
Venom
was
is not that
good.
great.
No. Good.
Venom 2 is even worse.
Didn't see it. Don't
Oh,
think I will.
yikes.
And I think that's really interesting too. I think that shows that like Ennis really does have an issue with who he really is. And that goes back to a really impactful story we learn in his childhood about how there was a gay man in his area when he was growing up, and the town gathered up and literally beat this man to death. And then Ennis's dad took Ennis and his brother out to see the body and was like, this is what happens if you're, if you're a little funny, like this is what happens.
Ugh.
And so he's got this like deep rooted fear that if he's like how he feels, like this will happen to him. And so I think what's interesting with Linda Cardinelli's character popping up, it's not just like, oh, well, my marriage couldn't work because I'm gay and this is who I am, like whatever. It was like, no, I need to keep trying to not be this. Like I can't be this. And that's
It's
really intense.
I gotta pretend to be straight to appease society, which is again another level of just like sad. Like, oh,
It's sad, yeah. And that's where it's like really conflicting of like you said, not necessarily rooting for them to be together, but like not also seeing them as like bad people.
yeah, they're in a really shitty situation. It's like they want to be together, but like if they are, there is a high chance that they will die because of it.
Right. And it's interesting too because Jake's character is the one that's like, we could just go. You and I, we can go and be together. and because he didn't experience what Ennis had, and like so that's also a conflict within their relationship. Huh. Huh. And like I also go I have just like so many thoughts and feelings. Um and again, like I seeing this as an adult now, I also realize that aside it being like the societal standards that were put on relationships, it's also about like particular roles in like a nuclear family. And I think that's also shown with Michelle's character, because she finds out like they're together, she catches them making out and stays silent, like does not say anything,
Boys,
tests him. Oh yeah.
that
Have you
is so irritating to me. So they haven't seen each other in like forever, but Ennis's wife is like a window away. And the first thing they do is just grab each other and kiss in plain sight. And I just think, you fucking idiots, just wait 10 goddamn minutes so you're down the road and like give each other all the kisses and hand jobs you need to. And you could have like, this could have happened for as long as you wanted.
Nowadays, if you saw your partner cheating, you'd be like, well, what the fuck? But because she has to sort of be like this happy housewife to a rancher and like
Well, it's also
got
probably like,
kids.
oh, he's kissing a boy.
Right,
What?
right.
It's not me. And what?
Yeah, my husband can't be that, like so there's
Yeah.
these also just societal pressures put on everyone in this movie. And I think Michelle Williams is an example of how she kind of stayed in this situation, because it's like I don't know how to get out. um
Yeah.
it's which is intense, and I think we see a little bit of that with Anne Hathaway as well. But like I'm curious to get your take. I have a question for you.
Yeah. I love answering questions.
Do you think that Anne Hathaway's character had any idea that Jake Gyllenhaal's character was gay?
Yes. I just
Okay.
think she kept her composure, and more so like it was a business transaction, because like her dad has like a business, and like because of society, and like I want to be the wife that raises the kids, I need my husband to do like, I think she had a plan, because like the end, because like when towards the end, when Heath calls Hathaway and is asking about Jack, and she's telling him about an accident he had, how he what is she how does she describe it?
His tire in his like he was trying to
uh,
fix a tire and it
so
hit
like he
him.
got hit in traffic and stuff, but that's a lie, because he really got beat to death because some guys saw him or knew he was gay and beat the shit out of him, while she's telling the story to Heath about like, he had a bad like car accident, and like she's making up this story to again cover the fact that he's gay. She knows, like, or maybe she didn't. My perspective was that she absolutely knows. She's just that like proud. I'm not gonna let anyone know. This is
Right.
my secret, or our family secret, and I'm taking it to the grave. But like, I think Heath knew, like Ennis knew, like, and he was like, "Fuck."
Okay, so I want to talk about that as well. And I do see what you're saying now, because throughout the movie, Anne doesn't engage in that. Like she doesn't talk about it the way Michelle calls like and it's not like none of that. She just, you're right, is very like
Well, they're also
like
from
carrying
in what
on.
it looks like a more wealthier family, where like
Yeah.
we brush that under the rug, because it's all a facade for the entire world.
Right, because the big thing too, and you kind of touched on it, is like her dad owns some sort of like car business, and he gives not her but her husband like a car lot or whatever the fuck, and she does the books for it. So
Okay.
like if her husband is now gay and she has to leave him, she loses that business because she's a little woman with a little woman brain. She can't do
Yeah,
it,
I think she probably knows. She probably doesn't know that he's like off having. Maybe she does know that he's off having affairs, and she just, I don't give a shit. We're parents together,
We
and
have
I
a
don't care.
business together.
And I'd
Yeah, this is
rather
the life we built. Yeah.
I'd rather him keep it a secret, and me just like, you know what? At least he comes home to me.
But okay, so I want to talk about what you said
Okay.
with the car excuse or whatever, because I feel like there's two different ways that that could be interpreted. So the first time I saw this movie, I thought that, like you said, he didn't get like his head hurt in some weird like freak accident changing a tire or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that flash of him getting the shit beat out of him was like, oh, he actually died that way, and she's lying. And then this time around, I was really focused on like Ennis's trauma and the constant fear of getting murdered. And when we get that flash of like Jake Gyllenhaal getting the shit kicked out of him, and it's like very hate crimey, this time I kind of saw it as like
What Ennis thought?
what Ennis thought could have happened. Like the biggest fear he always had that the two of them would die that way.
Because this is an art house movie and like well done and put together, there hasn't been any dream sequences yet.
That's true.
It's a flash of what actually happened.
Okay.
That's how I perceive it. And Ennis, again, I don't know what Ennis thinks and stuff. Maybe it is Ennis thinking like, oh, he probably connects the dots faster.
Yeah.
Hathaway definitely gives a great delivery of like, I know she's not telling the truth. Like
the way she's also really great in this.
She's being so proper.
Yes.
Sidebar about Hathaway. I remember one college friend of mine just hated Hathaway.
Okay, can I be real? Can I be
what's
real?
up?
I feel really guilty about this.
For interrupting my story?
No.
Okay, you don't feel guilty about that. Okay,
no.
Go on.
I was one of those people that hated Hathaway for no reason. For no reason.
I've always thought she gives great performances. Nothing wrong about her.
I just thought she was like really annoying when she won her Oscar, and I was one of those people. But why did your friend?
What did she do with the Oscar that was annoying? I
would
have
like,
loved that.
She like grabbed the award and was like, "Wow, it really happened." And myself and many others were like, "You fucking ungrateful! Like you just think you deserve this?" I don't know. And I found to be honest, I found her to be, because it was Les Mis, it was a musical that she won for, throughout like the whole like award campaign and all that shit and all the interviews. I just found her to be like an annoying theater kid. It was like, yeah, so while I did sing and I did blah, 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 I just found her to be annoying. And then she actually had like this really sad quote about it, because like after she won the Oscar, she like dipped for a couple of years, like she took a break. And when she came back to like act again, people were like, hey girl, where'd you go? And she just said like, I felt the vibe that like the public needed a break from me. And I feel really bad about that. Now I look at it and I'm like, that's dumb. Why did I just like my own internal misogyny was why I didn't like her. That's fucked.
You should feel really bad about that.
I do feel bad about that. Because I'm watching Brokeback now and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, she's always been a really great actress. And this movie also, like for all four of the main stars, Heath, Jake, Michelle, and her, all changed the game, because before this, she was like the Princess Diaries gal. And then she did this and was like, hey, I can help.
That's the reason my college friend didn't like her, because she was the Princess Diaries girl. And then all of a sudden she started doing these adult movies and
how dare you
showed her boobies. She's supposed to be someone kids look up to. What? No, she's an actress that took a job and then got more jobs.
What does she show her boobs in?
This movie.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. I guess as an adult woman now, I'm like, oh, whatever. I know what those look like. I just didn't register. But that's right.
As a film person, I'm like, whatever. It's a movie. It's the characters are doing things.
Yeah.
So she shows her boobs in this.
Yep.
The one complaint I have of this movie is that we don't see either one of the dudes' dongs.
Yeah, you know what? For like a movie with two men as the love interests, we see boobs but no dong.
We see like a far shot of them jumping from a cliff naked.
Yeah, we see
just like oh, they're kind of their butts.
I guess 2005 just wasn't ready for like a dong on screen.
No. It still really isn't.
I know people get really freaked out by dongs on screens. I don't get it.
Half of the people have them.
Half the people have them. And we gotta see, like, we gotta see lady parts all over the goddamn place, but I can't see a dong. I don't get it.
One thing I really like about this movie is just time jumps. I
Yeah.
I like that this because I think time jumps can be weird at moments. In other movies, I like that there's no like date. We just as the audience infer like, oh, he's definitely older. Like showing the daughter is, now like a teenager. I like the progression through time. Like we're gonna show these couple moments throughout time and how they're I think it's almost like the only moments we ever get to see them or whenever they get to meet up is when we get to jump into their lives.
Yeah, I think so. And I think what's really interesting too is what we see with time is less about like their character growth and how they age and mature, because like they kind of don't. Like they are very stunted because they have like this really unattainable life that they want.
Yeah.
But it's the things around them that are aging and moving on, whereas they're still stuck like to each other. So like you're right, like the children growing and aging is like a really good indicator. Or like we don't even get like an intense like divorce scene with Heath and Michelle. Like it's just like she's like we see her at her wits end. We don't know how long it takes from like seeing them kiss, seeing her getting like more and more upset to like we're in a court for a second and then he's at the dinner table with her and her new husband and the kids are older, and then all of a sudden bam, Kate Mara's playing Heath's daughter, and it's like whoa, that's how much time has gone by.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because especially with Ennis, like he's very stunted in a way that holds him back from like his full fulfillment, and to a certain degree Jake as well. So that I find really interesting in a way of handle time. I will say though that like the hair and makeup on those boys to age them, not the best. There's no Anne Hathaway as a Southern Belle, I'll just say that.
What do you think of their initial like hookup? Do you think it's earned? Did you see like the sparks fly of like, hey, I'm into you, you're into me?
um so what I've noticed this time around is, and we talked about how this is like a very slow burn,
Mm-hmm.
but this movie is like definitely really slow and does not pick up, or in my opinion, even become that interesting
Until
until
they
they've
hook up.
hooked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where we really start to see their relationship. So I don't know. Like, I think it makes sense that the two of them are very isolated and they're only seeing each other. And then that, like, maybe they're picking up certain vibes. But I think maybe we could have gone like a little bit more. But like, see, that's hard too to say
Because
because
Jake is definitely like I could tell like he's definitely into Ennis.
yeah,
Like Jack is like, what's up?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Ennis is like the I don't want to. No, I'm not about this.
So,
I don't. Before they hook up, I never get a sense that like Ennis is into Jack at all.
but
So it's
maybe because he can't give that away.
but like but you would still. I feel like you subtly would still like have like a look or a gaze at like, damn, I like that guy. Like
Yeah,
there's nothing like because like again they keep talking about how like quiet he is. I think Jake even that's more words than you've said all week.
yeah,
He just doesn't say anything like why are you attracted to this guy like he because that's why again I don't see the romance. They don't really talk too much to each other that we see before they hook up, and I just I get like hey they're together and they want to be together, and then again the rest of the movie is way more interesting, but like the build up to them I just feel like it doesn't feel incredibly earned, but like I get
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
want like one or two more things that made me think, yeah, I think these two are into each other.
I see. Yeah, I fully agree with that because like part of me says like no, it's not really that earned, but then another part of me is like, well, but for where Ennis is and who he is, maybe this is the most he can go in that
Yeah.
moment. And it's just opening up and telling him a story about his life. Like that's to him really vulnerable. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, but I guess I would have just like maybe like one little nugget, like another little dropling to make it feel a little bit more earned. I
Because
get
like I
it's
get like
hard. It's
once
hard.
they like canoodle, because like it's cold and like because one's supposed to like watch. First of all, that's a lot of fucking sheep. Holy hell.
Yeah, they have a lot of sheep. There's only two of them.
I can't imagine that that's digital. I think that's real sheep. Oh my god, that's so many things to herd. Anyway, one has to like stay at the top of the mountain to like make sure they don't get eaten. But like, why the fuck aren't they just out in like a pasture eating grass? I don't understand why they have to have migrate or why the sheep are migrating.
I'm no fucking shepherd. I don't know.
Understand it.
I don't
If
know.
anyone listening can tell me why they like have to, I understand why they have to watch the sheep so the sheep don't get eaten by a wolf, because that does happen. But why do they have to go off property and like in secret where they could accidentally mix with another fucking group of sheep, which happens because they were too busy banging. But like one stays by the campfire and the other one has to stay up with the sheep with zero campfire. Yeah, okay.
I guess that would be like to not attract the wolf.
Yeah, but like the whole concept is.
I don't know. I don't know enough about
just seems
shepherding.
a little like.
I don't know.
Maybe
there's like something really logical and formulaic about it. I think we're the wrong people. We have a podcast. We don't know shit about sheep.
That's true.
I don't know.
But I will say I understand. Like, hey, come. I like his like.
We're
hey,
cold.
come up to the tent. It's okay if we leave that. I just want you to be warm. Oh, I get that. Yeah, you're making your move. Good. Yeah. Good. Good shot. Take your shot.
Yeah.
And then he makes his move, but like, and this is like, no, what? Oh, and then they go. There was very little kissing before it happened, which I thought, that's why I don't think it's very romantic. If it was the romance and they were into each other, it'd be a lot of kissing, probably before the just like pure fucking.
Okay, I mean, yeah, and like, I mean, this is like a deep thought, but like maybe it's not so much that they love each other as they love what the other can give to them that very few, if anyone else, can give to them, especially Ennis, where it's like, I like men, you're the only one that seems to reciprocate that, so like, hey, it's complicated. Small question.
Yeah, I love answering small questions.
Were Jake Gyllenhaal and the Stranger Things guy fucking?
Unclear. It doesn't outright say it, but it sounded like they wanted to bang.
I think they were, because
David Harbour.
I couldn't remember his name. I wrote in my notes, "Whoa, Stranger Things guy."
my notes were Linda Cardinelli, Anna Faris, David Harbour. They just like one after the other. I was like,
kept coming.
Shit.
And then Kate Mara pops up too, we're all here.
They were relatively unknowns. Seeing them now, I'm like, oh, this is so exciting.
I think Anna Faris had done the scary movies, but so it was sort of like the funny girl's here kind of thing.
That's probably why I think Hathaway knows that Jake is gay, is because he probably is fucking that guy too. Or like, ended up fucking him.
I think they were, because at some point, Harbour's like, I got a cabin that I go hunting on if you ever want to join me.
He sets it up like, hey, I'm down to clown.
It's not just like, hey, bro, you like hunting? Like, let's go out to the woods and hunt. It's like he
insinuates like, it's very isolated.
And then I think I could have it wrong. I think it's either Jake says to Heath or Anne Hathaway says to Heath, like, he was going off into the hunting cabin with that guy. I can't remember who says it, but I feel like it is stated at some point.
I don't remember.
So I think they were probably doing things. The other thing I wanted to touch on, which I feel like we have to at this point, because it's like the most iconic line of this movie, the "I wish I could quit you" scene.
Oh,
what did you think it was?
It's the same scene, but like a couple of high altitude fucks.
No, I don't think that's as memorable.
I wrote it. It's on the same sentence for me. High altitude fucks. I wish I knew how to quit you. That whole I think that's the best scene in this movie of just like,
Yeah.
we want to be together, we can be together, let's fucking do this, and like, no, we can't be together.
Yeah.
uh
Yeah. It's there's something about it that's like I find in the line, I wish I knew how to quit you, and like what we're conveying in this moment, I find it to be like really haunting and romantic. Like Jake is saying, like, I want to let you go. I want this to be done, but like I just there's something about me that can't.
I'll say this is where it starts to get more romantic, sure, because I can start to see like they've built a relationship over like 10 plus years of like, we only get like this 1 week to like fish and like bang each other, like, I want to do this way more often, like it's heartbreaking.
It is. And like again, it's like the whole reason why Ennis feels like he can't make sense. Like he's like, not only is my life on the line, but your life, like you as well, could very well
and it
die.
and it it does.
And
Oh
it does, right? Like after the scene, this is
god.
like the last time they see each other, the last time they talk. Like, oh, it's so powerful, and like it's really like just beautifully gut wrenching is how to put it. It like really to me puts like a dagger in my heart, but I'm also like, God, this is just stunning and sad. Ooh. Ugh.
So so after watching this a second time, do you think this movie, Brokeback Mountain, deserves a second chance?
100%. I think there's a reason why it's still talked about. There's a reason why it's still around in pop culture. I think there's just a lot of things that this movie is able to do and convey in a way that's again just like really beautiful and really emotional. Um yeah, I think a lot of people really did like it when it came out and thought it was wonderful, and then some people did make fun of it. It was a joke of a movie at times, and I think now like we can be mature about it and not think like, oh, the two cowboys have sex. Like like who fucking cares now, and we can look at it for what it is, which is not only something about a love story but also just a really like that is alone, like ignore that part. I find this movie to be just like a really interesting character drama. Like all these characters and this acting is like so stunning, along with just like beautiful shots and locations. um yeah, absolutely, it's 100% watch it again.
Yeah, I say this definitely deserves its second chance. I don't see myself watching it too many more times. I because of its like slow pace, this doesn't really have like that rewatch value to it, but like it's a damn good film. Like it's put together well, acted well. It's a nice story, and it's paced in a way that like the movie deserves. And like, again, I like this like time jump and seeing like how their relationship evolves, or how the obstacles they gotta like, the hoops they have to jump through to like continue their relationship. And then like how them being in a relationship affects their, I don't want to say real lives, but like their other lives, their primary lives. Because, but then again, they want to be each other's primary life, but like it's tough. And yeah, especially with like 20 years of like experience between the two viewings, like I think this time around it's definitely hits me, especially because like I'm more open to like artsy movies now. This definitely is a well put together movie that still holds up over time.
I would even go as far to say that maybe this movie was ahead of its time in a way that it was good of it, because it really did progress some things. But like if you think about it, like a lot of people who are making fun of what sex,
Yeah,
okay,
the fact that
you
two boys
know.
were together, it's
Yeah,
like that's not a thing anymore. Like,
no,
who gives a shit?
I think it was sort of ahead of its time in that way. And I think like you were saying, it's there's a lot of complex conflicting emotions thing. Like it's not an easy digestible love story. It's a lot of, like you said, their lives and their each other's lives and their separate, all these things, but it's able to be like condensed in a way that's like really understandable and makes you feel for them, and that's hard to pull off.
Yeah, it's not a happy movie. That's another thing. Like it's very sad. Like even like after like credits start rolling and that song starts playing, I'm just like, fuck, that was rough.
Oh, I
I
know.
feel
And like,
so bad for
ugh,
him
yeah,
and Jack, I guess, but like Ennis is essentially our main character that like, fuck, dude, like he lost the person he wanted to be with the most, and
yeah.
all he has left now is like his bloody shirt from it. Fuck. Oh,
That's God, that's another thing we didn't even touch on with the ashes and the parents and like that whole
I don't
this
even want to
stuff
get into it
her,
because
yeah,
it's
is
just
so
sad.
so
So
upsetting.
we're in a agreement that this is deserves its second chance. Do you think this deserved the Oscar over Crash?
I do.
So looking back on it now, because when it came out, I was like, "Yay, Crash!" I think this one, especially with our time that we've given, this is the movie that people talk about more so in a positive light. Whereas in Crash, they just make fun of it. This one definitely, I think, again, because I think an Oscar for like should be like a movie that we all remember and like it defines the year, the moment. And I think Brokeback is definitely that movie that defined that like that year, and it still is a something we can watch today. I think a Best Picture winner should be something that if we watched in 10 years, 20 years, it's still fucking great. It shouldn't be like, it doesn't really hold up.
And that's a tricky thing with these like best pictures because you really can't judge them act like how well like this actually did work as a winner for that year until you're a few years removed. And nowadays like awards are just fucking bots, so it doesn't even matter. But like like I think one thing too, like just from a technical filmmaker standpoint, there's a lot of pieces to Brokeback that just are that work together cohesively in a way that Crash doesn't. So yeah, sorry Crash, sorry Roger, but not sorry to the director of Crash who agrees with us.
Paul Haggis knows. He gets it.
He
He's like
knows.
he saw Brokeback. Oh shit, it's way better.
This is way
What the hell
better
are you
than
guys
my
doing?
movie. Yikes.
Oh man, it's like La La Land and Moonlight all over again.
Yeah.
But Moonlight got it
Only
right.
Moonlight one. Yeah. All right. Thank you for listening to another episode of Second Chance Movies. As always, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Letterboxd, all the socials. If you like this episode, please give it a like. If you've been listening, give us a subscribe. It really helps us. It helps people find the show. Let us know what you think. Crash, Brokeback, which one deserved to win? A big thank you as always to Beatty McBeatface for making our dope theme song. And we'll be back next week with another Second Chance movie.